Hi golfers, for those who don't know me yet, my name is Philip Buberle and I'm not a YouTuber, nor am I an influencer. I'm lucky enough to be the co-founder and CEO of Geum Technology. The fact that we now have the opportunity to share this story, this video, means that you've been intrigued by our golf system in some way. I'm happy about that, and on the other hand, I have to say that this video just had to be made. It had to be made because there's a pretty large group of us all over the world who use the Geum Technology system. We're getting a lot of questions, a lot of requests for more and more information. Our customers are reaching out to us saying, please just release a video for people so they stop asking us what to do and this and that. So let's try to clarify in this video what the Geum Technology system is actually all about. Yes, I used the word system several times. I'm aware of that. I didn't use the term golf trolley. And for a simple reason, because at Geum Technology, we don't just make golf trolleys, we make a comprehensive golf system. The fact that you're watching us now means that maybe you were caught at first glance by our patented system, our design, which is really different from any competitor's product. Let's start with you wondering why the clubs are on the outside and why they're upside down, because that's physics, that's logic. Every healthy foundation has to grow from the root. The center of gravity must always be solid, and we base this on the laws of physics. The laws of physics clearly state if I want stability, if I want a center of gravity, I have to have the weight at the bottom. We managed to turn the whole golf mindset upside down in a simple way. We managed to create a fan-shaped patented system because we realized that if we want to have a center of gravity and stability, the clubs have to be upside down. And these are simple examples. Now picture your bag, which is traditional. Historically, we've all been used to putting clubs in the bag like this. But why? I mean, the moment I put clubs in the bag this way, all the center of gravity is in the grips, and that trolley can never be as stable as when I turn it around and put that weight on the front wheel. Sure, you'll immediately think, yeah, right, but what am I going to do when it rains? So let's answer that right away so we don't have to dwell on this topic any further. I'll basically do the same thing you would do. It starts to rain. I'll just grab a rain cover and put a simple rain cover over the bag. And the rain is sorted, just like for you. But the difference between us will be that the moment it starts raining, so you put your golf clubs in the bag like this, and all that water and dirt runs down the shafts right into the grips. Then you basically slosh it around in your bag, and then you're surprised your grips are dirty or wet. But with our system, the moment it starts raining, the clean water just runs down the grips and into the irons. So for us, rain isn't really an issue, but I get that the first thing people think of is, what am I going to do when it rains? Because it's something they've never seen before in their lives, and they can't imagine that when the clubs are on the outside, they're actually much better protected than when they're on the inside. Maybe I should have mentioned at the start that this video might be a bit controversial, but that's because behind us is over 10 years of development, use, and research, and I don't want to tell you what I think, because the world doesn't care at all what some Philip from Golfke thinks. The world might cares about what that Philip knows. And what I know about this product, I'll try to explain to you now. The next thing that will logically cross your mind is that you'll say, hey, it's pretty nice, but I have so many things in my bag. Where do I put them all here? Yeah, and I get that. But if we look at the details again, a tour bag weighs 3 kilograms. Our bag also weighs 3.5 to 4 kilograms. But I'm not just holding a bag, I'm also holding 70% of a trolley. We start from the fact that the construction of the whole bag, the whole system, is made of carbon tubes, you see? All the carbon we use is actually manufactured in top tier facilities where renowned car manufacturers also make their carbon components. So we stand by our carbon, you know. This is what the bare construction of our system, of our bag looks like. It weighs 1.5 kilos. Then the rest of the weight is actually added by the fabrics. It's light, it's fine, it's good. That's not an issue. So let's address the second question, whether I can fit into those pockets. And I've prepared my bag here for you so we can easily take a look at what's inside my bag. You can then decide for yourselves whether you have anything extra in your bag, or you might find that you don't even carry that many things with you. But the difference will be that I know exactly where everything is in my bag. And I'll start with a perfect little pocket. This is a simple pocket that can be detached like this, and most of our golfers walk into the clubhouse with it. Everyone knows that feeling of arriving at the clubhouse and now I'm taking all sorts of things out of the bag, putting them in my pockets. Not us. We just walk in with this pouch. What do we have in the pouch, for example? Well, I have my business cards here. I have my mobile phone, car keys, charging cable, wallet with cards, just the usual things you use. I have that in this portable pocket. I come back from the clubhouse, stick the pocket back on, and it's great. Notice here I have 4 balls ready for play. The balls are easy to take out, you know, just like this with a finger from below. But 4 wouldn't be enough. In this back pocket, I have more balls, and I'll explain why I have them in boxes. So look, 1 box, a second box, and so we're not thinking small, a whole box of balls. So I have a total of 18 balls here. I have 4 balls at the top. I have 22 balls ready for play. For those of you for whom this isn't enough, don't buy this trolley yet, okay? Go to the driving range and then come back to it. Why is it in those boxes? It's because I actually only touch this pocket for the first time when I've spent 3 balls from this dispenser and they're gone. I play with the last ball and only then do I touch that pocket. I take out the box and simply refill the dispenser and I'm ready to play. Most of you know what it's like to have balls loose in your bag with stuff underneath. So when you're looking for something, you're just digging around like this. You don't have to. Here, you know exactly that your balls are in this pocket. Moving on the side of this pocket, I call it the cosmetic or toiletry pocket. My essentials are a wet wipe, lip balm, various creams, sunscreen, mosquito spray, lots of blister plasters, pills, eye drops. So everything I'm looking for and everything I need from a cosmetic standpoint, I can find right in this pocket. I don't have to look for it anywhere else. What about drinks? Where do I put drinks? Each of those bottom pockets has a thermal lining inside. Why am I saying this? It's because when I buy a drink, I want it to stay cold for as long as possible. So we can look into this bottom pocket and see. So I have 1 bottle of water, a second bottle of water, a third bottle of soda, a 4th bottle of water, and maybe some cookies, snack bars. So as far as food is concerned, I use this right pocket, and I also call it the food pocket. And I'll go back up here to this pocket. I call this pocket the rain pocket. As we showed at the beginning, rain isn't a problem, right? But it starts to rain and I reach into this pocket because the first thing I take out of that pocket is the umbrella holder, which I can attach to the handle. A bit later, we'll look at that. And right after the umbrella holder, I take out the rain cover for the whole cart. If it doesn't rain, I don't touch this pocket. You know what's interesting? That actually a lot of the time with clients, we always discussed rain and the outcome was the same. The answer was always, hey, but I don't play in the rain anyway. But we have to be prepared for it. There are just times when we can't avoid the rain. Let's go back to the bottom pockets. I use the bottom left pocket and call it the apparel pocket. So for example, I have a rain hat in there, rain pants, a rain jacket, a windbreaker, and for various weather conditions. So that's as far as clothing is concerned. Then actually we're all used to having various pouches for tees, markers, gloves, and all sorts of things. So we use this bottom pocket for that. We don't put anything heavy in this bottom pocket, right? But we have spare gloves, bags of tees. At the same time, I can actually get tees ready for the game here, and we're back to that. If I'm prepared here, I don't have to get into this pocket at all, right? There's space here. Anyone can put their scorecard holder from their pocket right here. On the side here, we have a carabiner system. There are 2 holes there. It depends on each of you. I use a club cleaner, a towel there. Some people clip range finders and things like that here. How do I know which club I want to play with? It's actually very simple because each of you knows your bag well, and you know that, for example, your last iron is a 5, so you know that next to the 5 is a 6, next to the 6 is a 7. You know you have 3 wedges. That means the next club is a pitching wedge. Here is just a 9, an 8, and very intuitively, just with my fingers like this, I always find the club I want to play. It's a huge advantage that as soon as I take the club, I actually return it to the same place I took it from. Here in this holder, you can see there are these rollers, and those rollers spin beautifully. And basically, quite simply, when I put it on the grip like this, it goes in, the club slides in there, and you see that nothing clanks and everything has its place. It's the same as with the other things. Everything has its place, and that's what we like. We like to keep things organized in life, in our bag and on the course. And now we'll get to the core of why we called it a golf system, because this bag offers us so many options on how to use it and in what situation. Let's try to explain it quickly. So if I pull down this handle here and then simply tilt it like this, there's a release lever up here. When I squeeze this lever, I can pull out this manual axle. Let's take a closer look right here. And there's a silver piece here. It's called a pin. That pin is movable, and I control it up here with this lever. Yeah, as soon as I squeeze this lever, the pin retracts. I can use this standalone bag. For example, when I'm riding in a cart, when I'm in a buggy, there are times when we just have to ride in a buggy. Even though we all know we play golf to walk the course, to just stay in our flow, and that's what our cart is for, but we'll get to that. When I take this carbon manual axle, slide it into this hole, just push it in, squeeze up here, it clicks into place, and now I basically have a stand bag. For example, I use this when I need to pack my golf clubs away in the garage after the season. I also use it when I go practice, so I don't have to carry the bag to the driving range like this, even though it weighs the exact same as your current bag. I also use wheels with it, which simply click onto the axle on one side and on the other side. And now here's a trick. I squeeze the lever again, pull out the axle, flip it around. The axle goes back in. I lift the handle and I can roll it to the driving range from the car, from the parking lot. No need to carry the bag. It doesn't matter if I set it down here and go practice chips and then go to the mat or wherever. I always have it right next to me. Stable. I pull out a club, play, walk back to the car, take it apart in 5 seconds, and I'm off. And then we might have a situation where we don't take the motor with us on vacation because we don't want to drag it on a plane, or we overslept and forgot the motor on the charger. But because of that, we still have this manual axle in the car, and now with a simple move, we can turn it into a 3-wheel manual cart. So again, I just tilt the cart, squeeze the lever, slide the axle out, and now let's look together at how easily I can attach the front wheel. Notice that I'm using the weight of the frame so I don't have to strain or bend down as much. And with a simple 1, 2, 3, I click the front wheel in, and basically I have a manual, simple, beautiful version, which is amazing precisely because it uses physics. It uses the center of gravity, the weight, which is all on that front wheel. You can easily maneuver it with just one finger. Though, let's be honest, we'll get to this. Once you experience the feeling of the remote controlled electric drive, you just won't ever want to push anything on the golf course again. Now we're slowly getting to the top of the line series of the whole system. Here, I'll take this. We have this transport case, which is great. Inside the case is the electric drive. What's interesting about it? Maybe I'll start with the motors. We use top-of-the-line motors from a German manufacturer, which is one of the largest manufacturers of pacemaker motors in the world. That's why we like to say that our motor, our electric drive module, has a heart. or with a bit of dark humor, a pacemaker only makes a mistake once. It's equipped with great Japanese batteries, which give us incredible performance for the whole cart. Yeah, another question you're going to ask me is how many rounds it lasts. Look, every course has different yardage, but in its own way, that motor can run for 18 to 19 hours, so you should be able to manage 2 or 3 rounds with it. You're asking me what the lifespan of the battery is? It all depends on how you take care of the battery. We have a client here who's been playing with the same batteries for 8 years, playing an average of 70 to 80 rounds a year, and the batteries are, like I said, 8 years old. They're the original ones, and they still last him for 2 rounds. To make sure how much battery you have left, when we turn it on, it actually shows us the battery capacity percentage right here. Right next to it, you can see we have a USB output. That's so you can say charge your phone during the game or charge your remote controls after the game. In addition to the motors and batteries, this electric drive module is equipped with many sensors consisting of gyroscopic sensors, accelerometers, sensors that work with gravity, and we'll show that in a moment. And I'm convinced that this motor unit is currently the best in the world. We'll talk about and especially show why and how it's different maybe from what you're used to. From a simple 3-wheel version, we'll build a 3-wheel electric version. First, I'll remove the front wheel, simply tilt the bag, take the wheels off right away. One wheel, the second wheel, take off the manual axle. Now I'll take the electric unit, simply click it in, there. And now if you look, the wheels are spinning because they aren't clicked into the motor yet. And that's so that you have the option, if something happens during a game, the battery dies or something breaks down, to get off the course like with a manual cart, you know. So here is a lock, which when you lift it, you actually connect the wheels to the motor. Same on the other side. It simply clicks in there and it's done. The motor with the batteries and everything weighs 6.5 kilos, so it's not heavy at all. So I insert the motor into the hole, press the lever. As soon as I press the lever, the motor slides into the cart and is secured. Now I'll take the front wheel. Again, I grab the cart by the frame so I don't have to lug anything around, and it has 3 positions. First position, second position lifts the wheel up. That's the second, and the third just clicks it in. And when I'm taking the wheel out, I actually only use 2 positions. Push the wheel down and slide it out. Yeah, it's easy peasy. It's very simple. 1, 2, 3. Now I have the motor on the cart. Here I have the remote control, which I simply turn on here, and now I'm ready for the game. As you can see, again, compared to a lot of competitor products, you might have noticed right away that our system has a swiveling front wheel. It can afford to do that because the center of gravity is low and it's stable. A lot of other carts can't afford that even when they use a remote control because they don't have that stability there. Now I'll show you something really, really interesting. Watch this. I'll put the remote control down, let the cart go, and now I'll kick it, and the cart returns to the spot it came from. That's incredible because all those gyroscopes are working exactly as they should. Great, and now let's imagine we've arrived somewhere and need to unload the cart from the car. It's actually going to be completely opposite to what you're used to, because normally you arrive, open the trunk, first take the bag out, then try to assemble all those other tubes to make some kind of cart. Then you put the bag on it and off you go. But now it's actually going to be completely the other way around. Let's go take a look and try to simulate it. Okay, so I've arrived. Now I'm opening the trunk. I have the bag nicely placed in there. A cool fun fact, try putting a driver in your car. If a driver fits in your trunk, then the whole cart will fit. It's tested and it's great. I arrived, opened the trunk. First thing is I take the wheels, maybe throw them on the ground like this from the trunk, unzip the little case, take the motor and simply click the wheels on like this. Now I'll lift it up, as we've already mentioned before, right? I don't have the wheels on the motor yet. So I simply click the wheels onto the motor on one side, then the other, and lay it down like this. Be careful though, don't lay the motor down like this, you get it dirty. That's wrong. Lay it down nicely like this, at least you won't have to bend over as much. Now I simply take the bag out of the trunk. Again, working beautifully with the weight. I tilt the bag nicely, take the motor, which weighs 6 kilos, slide it into the bag, press the lever at the top, the motor slides in, clicks, and I'm done. I take the front wheel. As we've said, it's a 3-step process, so you can see 1, 2, 3. Click it in. I take the remote control, turn it on. Here I align the handle nicely, turn on the motor, and I can beautifully set off. And actually, as I'm walking behind the cart, a thought crossed my mind, and we actually haven't talked about it at all. We haven't talked about how walking is actually important for golf, for the golf that I play. And several examples come to mind right away. Try to imagine a flight of golfers with me. One golfer uses some cart, maybe an electric one, which is controlled like this. Yeah, so that's one golfer. The second one has, say, a manual cart, which he pushes in front of him like this. The third golfer will be me, say, Golf Geum. I control my cart like this. And a fourth golfer will walk with us and he'll carry his bag on his back, right? So we have our flight lined up nicely in a row. And now try to imagine that we take away the carts and only the silhouettes of the golfers remain. So the first golfer, the second golfer, the third golfer, the fourth golfer. And now answer for yourself, which golfer do you want to be? Personally, I want to be this golfer. I want to walk the course like a player. I want to walk the course like a human being, not like someone handling merchandise. And I don't want to directly use the word warehouse worker, but I already did. I started playing golf because I wanted to walk. I wanted to walk in nature. And when I walk and walk correctly, which means walking like this, I'm actually doing great cardio fitness for myself on the golf course. That's the most we can do for ourselves. And those opinions that when someone carries a bag on their back, they're a sportsman, that's nonsense. Plus, that person burns only 70 calories less over 18 holes than I do when I walk healthily. Secondly, they run out of energy very quickly. And thirdly, it's incredibly annoying for all of us to listen to their clubs clanking everywhere. And the worse they play, the more often they take that bag off and put it back on. Just nothing comfortable. And those other players who push something realize that you actually walk the course for 4 or 5 hours in positions like this. That's why your back hurts. Not because of how you swing, but because of how poorly you walk. And it affects your game too. It affects the fact that when you have vibrations going into your hands for 4 or 5 hours, you can't expect your putter to sink a putt on the 6th or 7th hole that you would have absolutely sunk on the first hole because your hands weren't tired yet. That's a big difference. And maybe thanks to using our cart and walking like human beings again, like golfers, you might experience that amazing feeling of finishing the 18th hole, having a glass of wine and a light bite in the clubhouse and realizing you're not tired. You'll get to the point where you say, hey, I'd go play it again because I'm actually not tired. I just had a nice walk. And that's what would please me and what I wish for you golfers. To just walk healthily, do something for your health, do that cardio fitness, and simply be happy on the course and stay in your flow as long as possible, in your golf flow, which simply isn't induced by physical fatigue, but is induced by that feeling, that emotion of how beautifully I'm walking the course. And that's the beauty of golf, and that's why I think most of us play it. Now I'll share some insights from our clients with you on purpose. You know, we keep in touch with them. We get feedback. Very often we hear feedback like, hey, the biggest mistake I made was putting off buying this system. I should have bought it much sooner and I could have been playing much happier. You know, that always really pleases us. Just recently, I had a very nice conversation with a doctor who also has our system. And he says, you know, thanks to this cart, I've gone back to my youth a bit. I said, why? He says, in my youth, I had a Harley Davidson motorcycle. And he says, that's style. That's really something. And wherever I rode that Harley, everyone would go look at it. Or when I met someone else with a Harley, it was completely natural, totally normal for us to stop and start talking, and we'd find out we had a lot of mutual friends or topics we were interested in. Then with age, he put the motorcycle away, and after some time, the doctor is 65 years old, I should point out, so still a young golfer. He says, I bought this system and suddenly I have the same feeling as when I have that Harley Davidson. He says, people stop me, they ask me about it, they admire it, they look at it, and wherever I go in the world and meet someone with a Geum, they come up to me and suddenly they're my friend. Suddenly I have a lot of contacts saved in my phone. That also reminded me, one of our female clients called recently too, thanking us so much because thanks to the cart, she actually made a lot of friends on the golf course who stopped her. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even asked her or noticed her, but they stopped her and asked about the cart, and she's just extremely happy. And I've completely digressed, but it just popped into my head for you. We recently did some research on our client demographics, and it's really interesting, though in a way it makes sense, just like our product, that a large portion of our clients are architects, designers, developers, plastic surgeons, dentists. We have a lot of clients who make things themselves, so they can appreciate how much work, years, effort, and trial and error actually go into creating a product like this. And why did I mention those professions? Maybe you don't belong to any of them, but I mentioned them because the core of those professions is that they all work with design, logic, and physics, and they realize that this isn't just a design piece. It's not just a cart. It's just something more. It's a style. It's something that brings you back to life. It's something meant to help you feel comfortable and keep your life, as we like to say, in your flow for as long as possible, whether that's just golf or personal. But I've completely digressed. Let's get back to it. So we built a cart. We have this remote control, which makes it very easy to operate. Left, right, it has 5 speeds. So basically, and unfortunately you won't see it here, but in other videos you can watch it on the course. We'll definitely have videos showing how great it works. It has 5 speeds. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the cart has driven off. You can't see it anymore, but I have reverse, so I'll bring the cart back to its spot. We were talking about how great it moves left and right. I also remembered when we were talking about walking and those very common questions. And lately, a really common question is whether the system, the cart, has a follow me function. I'd like to address this and try to think about it with me, okay? From my perspective, anyone trying to bring a follow me function into the golf industry deserves a gentle slap on the wrist, you know. And why do I say that? Because try to think about what is so great about something that like follows you. We don't want to be followed by something. We want to be the ones setting the pace. I don't want to wait for some cart to catch up to me. I want my cart to be waiting for me at the ball, not the other way around. In terms of feeling, it's like you're walking and constantly like turning around. Where is the cart? Yeah, like a practical thing. I'm walking and now there's an obstacle here, and I walk and I jump over the obstacle. And what does the thing driving behind me do? It falls right into it. Just forget it, dear golfers who want to be tech savvy. You want to be progressive. So just erase the follow me function from your head. From our point of view, it's really nonsense. For us, maximum comfort means that I walk up to the ball and the cart is waiting for me there. I walk up to the ball, take the remote control, stick the remote here on the magnet, take the club I want, make my shot, put the club back where I got it, grab the remote and drive off. And I drive off with the cart going ahead of me. I'm not limited. I'm not waiting for anything. My flight partners aren't waiting for me. If I'm in a situation where, say, I'm playing my last shot to the green, I can afford to take my putter in hand and send the cart ahead to the next tee box, but I always want to walk straight ahead on the course and not double back. I don't want anyone waiting for me. We're looking for balls. Picture this, you're looking for a ball, not yours, obviously, right? You're playing down the fairway, but your flight mates, right? You're looking for a flight mate's ball somewhere in the rough, then you find it, look back, and all the other carts are parked 30 meters behind where you found it. That's just how it goes. That's reality. So everyone has to walk back through the rough to the fairway where your carts are and start pushing them forward again. by then you've already wasted a ton of time, whereas my cart is already waiting for me right by the ball. Now, let's see if we can simulate it here, shall we? We talked about how the motor unit is packed with systems, gyroscopes, accelerometers, and gravity sensors, and how I told you it runs very smoothly up to those 5 speeds. It's worth mentioning that the cart automatically adjusts its speed when it hits uneven ground or goes uphill, so you don't go up too fast, preventing the cart from tipping over and keeping things smooth. Thanks to its center of gravity, the cart holds up perfectly on hills. At the same time, you can probably picture a situation where you have an elevated green and you want to drive the cart around the green, so you drive the cart along the contour line. It's really interesting to watch how the cart drives along the contour line as if it were on tracks. The systems actually keep it there. I just thought of a pretty good comparison, like when you have modern cars, you have a car that keeps you in the lanes and won't actually let you drift out of those lanes. That's exactly how this cart keeps its direction when driving along a contour line. We can actually take a look in this completely improvised studio at how the cart handles hills, you know. Let's drive up a hill. And look at that, the cart doesn't even budge. I'll stop it on purpose now. See, the cart is standing still. If you look at the angle it's at, we're definitely at about a 24-degree incline right now. Those are almost mountain course parameters. And the cart is standing still, and thanks to all those gravity sensors, the cart doesn't even budge. Now I can try to start it up the hill. See, and without any problems, the cart climbed up where it was supposed to, and now I can play around with it again just the way I want, and I can send it back down the hill and it will go down without any problems. Again, I'll call it nicely right back to me, take the remote control again, put it away, and playing around with it is completely simple. We showed how it actually folds up when I arrive at the course, and so for the last time we'll just show how it unfolds, because again, it might be a bit different than what you're used to, but it's really simple. It's really easy. I'll take the remote control, turn off the remote control, put it here in this case, take out the front wheel, tilt the bag, take out the motor, slide down the handle, take the bag, put it in the trunk of the car, take the motor unit. I don't have to touch anything at all, so my hands stay clean. I'll take the wheels, put them in the motor, one wheel, the second wheel, turn off the motor, put it nicely in the case, take the front wheel, shove it under the wheels, and I'm off. Hey, now we have the section with Geum on the road. This is actually super fun. Here in my hand, I'm holding a hard case that fits the entire Geum Technology system, which is excellent when we're traveling somewhere, flying by plane, because you can even check it in as sports baggage, which can weigh up to 32 kilos. The important thing is that you just easily pull off this cover, which travels with you, so you don't get your suitcase scratched. Let's see what actually fit inside. So, ta-da! Inside we have the whole bag with the clubs, we have 2 wheels plus the front wheel, and we also have the manual axle. Also, when I travel, I put my shoe case in here, and of course I fill the pockets with golf clothes, so it's great. You don't have to worry at all about your bag getting damaged in the suitcase. It's perfectly padded and protects it. If I don't add much else, the suitcase with the clubs and carts averages 19-20 kilos when I fly out. And what else is this travel suitcase good for? Because many of you might also be thinking about what to do if something breaks on the cart, if something doesn't work, how the service actually works, and things like that. Well, since we are actually the manufacturers and we're golfers ourselves, we know how important it is to have your bag and your cart always handy. So when we talk about within the European Union, the easiest way is when you get the Geum Golf system to get it with this travel suitcase. The moment you have any problem, write to info@golfgeum.com, call us, and either it'll be something we can send to your address that very day and you can easily fix it yourself, And if you can't handle it yourself, you take the whole cart, pack it in the suitcase, and we'll order a courier. And even that day, the courier is able to pick up the travel suitcase and deliver it to us. Usually, repairs take us 1 to 2 days max. Getting back to transport, it's great that actually, thanks to the battery certification, you can fly with your motor. If we go by standard airline regulations, which state that batteries with a capacity from 100 watt hours to 160 watt hours are only subject to notification. It should be your duty, and you don't ask for permission. You just notify the airline that on board. Don't get it mixed up, like no battery or computer, for example, can be transported in checked baggage nowadays. All electronic devices must go with you in the cabin, so you check in your carry-on baggage normally, or depending on which airline you fly with, or you just have it as a handbag. Our batteries are certified, there's a label on them, and they have a capacity of 156 watt hours. So I just recommend notify your airline that you are taking batteries with a capacity of 156 watt hours on board, and you won't have any problems. And wherever you fly in the world, you can always just use your Geum, which you're used to from your home course. I also wanted to tell you one more thing, okay? Simple: forward, arrow, left, right, reverse. Those two arrows mean that when you press it, the cart immediately starts at the highest speed, at the 5th speed. When you press one arrow, the cart starts at speed 3, at an average medium speed. The star works to deactivate all sensors. In practice, it works like this. When I go up a big hill and want the cart to pull me up, actually, as I tilt it, it slows down. But when I want it not to slow down, but to go fast, I let it pull me up by pressing the star. That deactivates all those sensors. See the motor, how much power it suddenly has, right? So don't resist it. Let it pull you up the hill. The moment I reach the top of the hill and press the stop button, the sensor automatically activates again. Or if it seems to me that the cart is going slowly up the hill and I'd like it to go faster, I just press the star on the remote, which deactivates the sensor, and I activate it the same way. Okay, so I activate it either with the stop button or by pressing the star again. Thanks a lot for watching this far. Follow our channels, both YouTube, Golf Geum, and Instagram. Anything you can think of that wasn't mentioned in this video, don't hesitate to write to info@golfgeum.com, and we'll get in touch with you and answer, resolve it, and I'll be really looking forward to meeting you somewhere on the course. And believe me, if I see you with our cart, I'll come up and say hello myself. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.